Hello participants, welcome in this new session, and in this session we will talk about the different contemporary leadership roles. In the last session we will talking about the issues and challenges, and now we will talk about the roles. We also discussed about different strategies, how the issues can be addressed among organizations through leadership. So, now we will talk about contemporary leadership roles. Contemporary means in the modern times, what special, what significant and different rules are expected from the leaders in lieu of the traditional rules. So, we were talking about different challenges, and once there is challenge, yes, it is a role which will address the problem or challenge. So, how effectively the rules by the leaders have been practiced and played. So, leaders are expected to face new challenges and play different roles. If organizational working is not challenging, it will bring the boredom and monotony, and whenever there is boredom and monotony, the productivity, effectiveness and efficiency of people will go down, and it will affect the productivity of other resources also. So, yes, the working should be challenging, and once the working is challenging, the role will be different. So, leaders should be able to adjust and adapt with the organization system and practice their skills to work and let others work. So, the role of leaders is to work in such a way, so that they are accomplishing their assignment and giving space to the team members, so that they can also accomplish or complete their assignments. So, some of the major rules categorized are: number 1, providing team leadership, second role is mentoring, and third role is management. Now, providing team leadership, and if we talk about team, a team may be a team of 2 to 3 people to a very large team, and it can be understood with the help of a very simple example. We can take example of any one of the project of metro rail. That project is finalized and team is constituted, leader is designated. Now, this team has to execute, this team has to actualize the prepared plan of the project, and that plan has to be actualized by using the team and utilizing the resources. So, here there is the team and the leader is there, and this leader has to provide the leadership, starting from the very initial project need based team structuring to execution of different activities related to construction, mobilization of raw material, mobilization of human resource, then various kind of construction work at the site, and the construction work at different workshops, from where nowadays construction is not such an activity where the whole construction work is going on at site only. If we take example of metro, in metro nowadays the construction is a kind of assembling the various constructed component of railway bridges and other parts are prepared among workshops of railway, and then they are transported at the site. Yes, this is also. So, how this whole gamut of different very large sized activities involving very large sized equipment, machineries, gadgets, it is not possible without giving leadership to the team, and the leader will, yes, of course, keep the members motivated. Next one is mentoring. Mentoring is, yes, of course, is a modern role. Nowadays, it is not only just you pass your command, your instructions, your orders and ask team members to accomplish that. No. Reason being, in the beginning of this session itself, we discussed that there might be certain challenges, and if there are challenges, then yes, people may be knowing how to handle this challenge and may not be. And if they do not know how to handle the challenges and problems, then the only mean to address is to take mentoring, or to the team will become mentee and leader will become the mentor. And the role of mentor, basically mentor is a senior person who is well versed and experienced in the discipline or domain of work. And if there is any state of confusion, any state of vacuum or any state of challenge, the leader must come forward as a mentor and give mentorship to the mentees or the team member, so that the problem, the challenge can be addressed. So, this is also one of the contemporary role. And next one is, that is also one of the major role, that is management. And management means how the various resources will be planned, mobilized, processed and could be converted into the finished goods or services for the attainment of goal. That is process of management. And in the process of management, there are certain specific rules a leader has to practice or observe. The very first one is listening of the internal and external team members. Listening. There are different stakeholders involved in the execution of the work. Let us again take example of metro rail. There are different people, machines, different activities are to be accomplished, processes are required to be completed, and yes, of course, there are different people, those who are mobilizing the raw material at the site and other stakeholders. Now, how the cooperation, coordination and synchronization can be attained? Cooperation means that every one team member should be supportive to each and other one, so that the maximum productivity can be attained. This is cooperative. Coordination means different people are working in the team and they are creating different kind of forces. How all these forces would be directed in the direction where the goal will be attained. Synchronization, making a rhythm among them, and that rhythm should be, suppose 10 people are working, then this rhythm should be such a rhythm, so that synergy can be. Synchronization is always for creating the synergy, and synergy is if 10 people are working and their ultimate impact is for more than 12 people or for more than 15 people, that is synergy. And this synergy can be attained with the process of cooperation, coordination and synchronization, and all these processes are dependent upon listening, which person will come at what time and how this person will be supported by others and what this person would be accomplishing. This all process of creating and introducing is the process of listening, and listening is one of the important role of the management or the leader. The next role nowadays is troubleshooter. the business working has become very complex and tedious, and because it is complex and tedious, then there might be n number of chances for the troubles. And one of the major role of present day leaders and managers is to shoot out the trouble as and when there is expectation or the trouble has emerged, then leader should be effective in shooting the trouble, in managing the trouble. Next is the conflict. As we have already understood that there are different stakeholders working in the organization, and these different stakeholders have their different interests and expectations. As a result of different interests and expectations, there might be chances of disputes and conflicts, but the leader must be appropriately observant and vigilant, so that just on the onset of the conflict or just on the onset of dispute, it should be managed. So, another very significant contemporary role of leader or manager is conflict management, and yes, coaching is also one of the contemporary role of the leader. Coaching means sometimes there are people working in the organization at very responsible positions. They have the capabilities, they have the competencies, they have the strength, but outcome is not that what was expected. Here the role of leader is to coach. Coach means one to one, understanding the vision, mission, goals, objectives, policies, programs, then functioning processes, standard operating processes, operational activities, understanding all that. Now, how an individual can be motivated to be the maximum productive, this can be done with the process of coaching. In the coaching, this word has been taken from the sports, and in the sports, individual sports persons are given relevant training. In case of hockey, what physical training, what kind of virtual training, what kind of emotional training, what kind of psychological training should be given, so that the sports person can become the maximum best contributor in the team. And for that, there is need of the coach. Coach will identify the physical strength, weaknesses, the virtual strength and weaknesses, the psychological and emotional strengths and weaknesses, and then this coach, being a leader, will act on one to one basis to make the person, a sports person, or if manager is working in the industry, will make as per need of the. Next role is policy making. Competition, globalization, and certain other business factors have made the business very complex. So, what kind of policies? Policies related to finance, policies related to production, policies related to human resource management, policies related to marketing, policies related to research and development. What kind of policies will be appropriate when there is competition at the global level, and when competition at global level, then the regional players or the regional businessmen do not have that type of infrastructure, that type of resources which can compete with the regionalism. Then it is policies. Policies can create the niches through which people can work. So, this is one of the significant role. Then next one is motivation and direction. Usually we will understand that it is a kind of traditional activity only. Yes, even during the traditional times there was need to motivate the people, but motivation nowadays has become much more difficult. In one of the session we discussed that the present day man does not need the basic things, that is the cloth, the shelter, the food. Reason being, people those who are working in the corporate, people those who are working in the business, their basic needs are well addressed. But nowadays it is time of pleasure, choices, luxury and what not. For the basic needs, there is satisfaction. An individual can consume a specific quantum of food for himself or herself, as well as for the family, as well as there is a limit or there is a level of satisfaction for clothing and shelter also, but there is no limit to the luxury, comfort, choices, pleasure, tastes. There is no limit to that, and consequently the world is becoming more and more complex, and in such kind of complexities it is very difficult to direct and motivate the employees. The next challenge is cooperation, coordination and synchronization. We were discussing that accomplishment of organizational goal is not possible without cooperation, coordination and synchronization. And this can be understood with the help of a very small story. I might have already shared it with you, but now there is direct context related to that. There was a family, and that family was consist of 4 family member, parents and girl and boy child in the family. And there was something picnic trip of that boy who was studying at a school. So, school declared that the students will go for a picnic trip, and during that picnic trip the students will wear a typical type of dress. So, the boy came back to home, and in the evening they were sitting at the dining table, and while discussing various family affairs, the boy shared that some picnic trip will go from the school, and it is mandatory for everyone to be part of that trip, and in the trip students will wear a typical type of dress. So, that was shared, and it was month end, and the resources or financial status of family was a bit limited. So, it was not possible to purchase a new dress during the last days of month. So, the father looked towards mother, any hope, any expectation. Then mother went inside of home and searched and could find a uniform which was really similar to what was expected from the boy, and it was shown to the boy, and he told that yes, it can work. But when it was checked with the size of the boy, the pant was half feet, shirt was appropriate, but pant was half feet longer than the size of the boy. So, it was decided that we will cut down it to the size of the boy, and yes, family was very happy, and the family slept. In the morning at 3 a.m. the sister got up, and she was elder. She was worried that if we will not do the alteration to the pant, it would be difficult for the boy. So, she cut down the pant by half feet and make it to the size of the boy, and she slept at 4 p.m. after doing all this. Then at 5 p.m. mother got up, and she picked up the that pant, and she cut down the pant to another half feet. So, this is really very good example of cooperation, but not coordination and synchronization. In the organizational working, if activities, actions, processes are not being cooperated, not coordinated and synchronized, if people working in the team are not supportive to each and every one, so that the organizational work can be accomplished in the minimum effort, energy and resources. And yes, of course, whatever actions are pooled by all the team members. There should be a thrust of direction, and that is coordination. And synchronization means, yes, the direction has been attained by involving all, and the impact is much more than the individualistic impact, or in other words, the impact is the synergetic impact. So, nowadays the cooperation, coordination and saying, because the organizational processes have become very complex. So, this is, then next one is initiative taking. What should be done and how it should be done is really a challenge. If we study what is happening in the business arena, the lot many new startups are coming, but if we study how many of them will survive, say after 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, the percentage is very low after 2 years. So, lot many ventures are coming, and because of that kind of environment, it has become a challenge for the leaders to take initiative. What should be done next? I was giving one of the example in one of my session that working as a leader for the Google, Microsoft nowadays is really very difficult. Reason being, what next initiative should be taken? That is also one of the challenge. And once the initiative is taken, then the goal setting is also one of the challenge. How the goal and objective should be, and goal means it is short term goal, the middle term goal as well as the long term goal. How that should be decided, and there should be synchronization among all these, and these goals should be well mapped and matched with the goals of individuals and teams, groups and organization as a whole. And really it is very difficult nowadays to set the goal, so that everyone's goals can be involved in the goal of organization. If I want to earn a certain salary and other compensation benefits, how my goal will be synchronized with the goal of organization, that has become really challenging. So, the next one is being role model. This is also one, a leader must be a role model, but role model means the working of organizations have become very complex and tedious. There is involvement of technology, there is involvement of social aspects, there is involvement of cultural aspects, there is involvement of politics, there is involvement of diplomacy. Yes, some of the organizations are practicing the strategy of war games. If the strategy of war game is practiced, that makes the organizational working or the industrial or sectorial working very complex, and things become more difficult as a result of global functioning and competition. In such a situation, what competencies should be acquired, what abilities should be acquired, what knowledge leader must have, so that this person can play a significant role model for all the employees of organization. This is really very difficult and typical. So, this is also one of the. So, here it is conclusion, what are different leadership roles, and we are concluding one of the major topic of leadership, leadership style, leadership theories and different contemporary challenges and rules of leadership. So, we will conclude this here, and we will start a new very important topic, and it is bit different or away from the organizational behavior, but yes, of course, it is part of the organizational behavior, that is emotions and emotional intelligence. So, why we should study emotions and emotional intelligence in organizational behavior? Because emotions are the element of behaviors, or in other words, behavior is outcome of emotions, and what kind of emotions generate what type of behavior, that will affect on the working of organization. So, it is mandatory, it is necessary to understand the dynamism of emotions in the working of organizations. To understand emotions, let us first try to understand the meaning of emotions, and this meaning has been taken from the Merriam-Webster's dictionary, and this dictionary has given 3 or 4 different meanings. So, we will go through each one of that, and the very first meaning given is a bit elaborate meaning of emotions, and the meaning is emotions are a conscious mental reaction. Yes, it is a mental reaction such as anger, and this reaction is to certain stimulus. There might be certain external environmental stimulus or a stimulus from within the body. Suppose the temperature of environment is going down, 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 and resultantly I am feeling cold, then from within there will be emotion of anger, emotion of fear, fear of cold. So, it is a continuous mental reaction subjectively experienced. Emotions are always subjectively experienced, and emotions are the continuous mental reactions which are subjectively experienced and which are strong feelings accompanied with the strong feelings directed towards a specific object and typically accompanied by physiological and behavioral changes in the body. So, meaning gives number 1, it is conscious mental reaction, it is subjective, different people will have different strength and type of emotions as a result of the similar stimulus. Some of them will become fearful as a result of that, and others will become violent and aggressive. So, second meaning is a state of feeling, emotion is a state of feeling, and third one is affective aspects of consciousness, and last one is the feeling. So, these factors are also involved in the emotions. So, with this meaning we will close this session here only. So, thanks for patient listening. I expect that you might have enjoyed the learning, and we will meet in the next session for a next topic. So, thank you for the participation. Thank you very much.